What's going on, party people? My name is Solomon. I am an artist, and thus I go by Solomon the Artiste. Well, I don't know what to say. Today is my 6th day. I am currently in my 6th day of fasting. Today is the 7th. The time is currently 11:18, and I just want to speak about what went on yesterday and also speak a little bit about the physical aspects of my experience, all of which truly have been tremendous. I want to speak a little bit about my mental, spiritual, and emotional health also. So for me, this fast is mostly a Christian thing. I wanted to strengthen my faith, strengthen my relationship with God in Christ, and just sort of find myself again. I did feel as if I kind of lost myself a little bit in Christianity, and I wanted to come back for 2019 to it. So there's that. For quite some time, I was in a place where I was always miserable. And when I say miserable, I mean miserable. The Jamaican definition for someone who's just never in a good mood, basically. Irritable, if you will. And I was just always annoyed by people, by things. I was always just, anyone who knows me knows that I don't even like to use obscene language. I am not one to drop the F-bomb. I don't even, if you notice on the channel, when I talk about poop, I say poop as opposed to saying S-H-I-T, Even sometimes saying the word damn is something that I'll have a quick moment to think and say, is it necessary? And I've been like that since I was a kid, for whatever reason, It is what it is. But these past couple of months, though, before January, the ending of 2018, really, honestly, I think a lot of 2018, but primarily the end of 2018, I just found myself dropping M-bombs like it was nothing. Like things would just annoy me. People would annoy me. I'd be so irritable. I would snap at people. I would cuss people out at the drop of a dime. I was so emotional. I was always depressed. I was always just feeling lower than dirt. And I just felt like nothing was going my way. And I just felt so misaligned. And I just didn't know what to do. I just felt as if I was in this place where everything was just terrible and nothing was going right and nothing was going my way. And, I just felt terrible emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Nothing was right. Nothing was aligned. And so this fast was absolutely necessary. I was fasting primarily for my emotional state. And I was looking forward to the physical benefits, really the physical benefits of, losing some weight, I'll be honest, And I was reluctant to jump into the fast because I was afraid that I would be in a place of constantly feeling hungry, of feeling weak, of not really appreciating the intended purpose of strengthening myself in Christ and just looking forward only to the weight loss and whatever. But none of that seems to be the case. If anything, I feel lighter, both physically and spiritually and mentally, and definitely emotionally. I just feel great. I don't feel myself getting irritable at all. I have little moments where I think it's more of a sense of breaking habit. Someone asked me a question and it's become instinct for me to just go, what? But then I catch myself and I'm like, wait, why am I responding like that? I don't mind doing this for my family member, for my friend or whatever. And I realize it's all connected. I felt terrible physically. I didn't want to do anything. I was always in some kind of pain, whether it be my foot or my back or whatever, or my skin itching or whatever from psoriasis or whatever it may be. And I realized it's all connected. Everything was just so misaligned that it just made me an irritable, miserable being to be around, So now I'm in this place where I just feel euphoric. I just feel I have have this mental clarity that is just out of this world. I mentioned in a couple of videos ago that I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to focus on these monologues I need to memorize for my grad school audition. And if anything, like, I struggled for months trying to memorize this monologue, and to, all of a sudden I go on this fast, and on the 4th day after, I go into ketosis, it's like my mind was just so sharp and I just memorized everything without an issue, and I would always feel so sluggish and everything, and I just realized even now as I'm speaking, like, I'm speaking so fast and just I feel so energetic, and it's so amazing, and so I really encourage you, if you are going through something, especially the physical, I encourage you to make Christ a part of the journey if you decide to fast. But if you choose to just meditate, or whatever, then absolutely, it will help. But in respect to the physical aspect, if you trust me, it is worth it. It might sound scary, you might feel like, well, I'm gonna starve, and all that stuff, but believe me, it is worth it. I am currently only in day 6, and I can't wait to see what day 21 looks like. Now, to speak on the physical, I find every day that my skin just gets clearer and clearer, and I love it. I noticed for the first time when I woke up this morning, I looked in the mirror. I don't usually look in the mirror first thing in the morning. Especially now, I wake up and I pray. I have a conversation with the Lord. I made sure, thank goodness my phone was actually dead. So, my first thing, I think most of us these days, our first instinct is look at the phone. What did I miss? What's happening on Instagram? All that stuff. I wake up and I talk to the Lord. I pray. I thank Him for another day where I woke up and I can actually get stuff done and just be, a vessel, basically. This morning I did that. I got up and I actually looked in the mirror, and for the first time I noticed the difference in my face. My face is thinner compared to the first video. Feel free to go take a look. Excuse me. And I feel like that's, one of two things, if not both. For one thing, I definitely have lost some fat. I'm getting to that. And additionally, it could definitely be a great sense of inflammation. I've said before that I've actually experienced Bell's palsy, and I've never really felt like my face was completely the same ever since then. But at the same time, I look at some other photos from, when I was a little bit younger, even in my 20s and whatnot, and I noticed for the first time that the things that I'm thinking are a result of, Bell's palsy were actually kind of there, well, I'm not going to get into detail with that because I don't want you to start looking for certain things. But basically, I just feel like I definitely look thinner in the face. At least I see it, if anything. And I was just curious, there's a YouTuber who, well, I don't think any YouTuber said this, but I remember seeing people say on online somewhere that they talked about it in videos, and there's definitely information about it on Google and what have you. Fasting, water fasting especially, but fasting allows your body, time to just regenerate and repair and all that good stuff. And I've experienced so much of that. Like I said, I have no foot pains. I've got no back pains. My joints feel amazing. I just feel light. I feel mobile. I just feel fan-freaking-tastic. But another thing that I wasn't really thinking of, but I remember reading it, and I just out of, curiosity looked, was the stretch mark part. Now, I actually don't have that many stretch marks, even though I am a thicker dude. But where I do have them primarily is on my arm, like just a small amount on my arms, right here basically. And then I've got like a small amount, or technically had a small amount, like right on the sides of my stomach. And I was looking this morning and I was like, whoa, the stretch marks actually faded tremendously. And I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't even concerned about that. But I do remember reading that when fasting and the body's repairing itself and regenerating and everything, it does work on scar tissue. You know, there were some people who said that they had scars from maybe like, you know, a cut or whatever that pretty much diminished. And that excited me. I'm like, why isn't everyone doing this? You know, why isn't everyone like, I mean, you don't have to fast every month or whatever, but give your body a chance to just chill, to relax, to heal, to do what it needs to do so that you can do what you need to do, you know? I'm just having the time of my life. You know, I wish that I had given into this much sooner, but I'm also glad that it is now, because there are so many things that I thought I wouldn't be able to get done this month that I am getting done. And I do think a lot of it has to do also with me being on a fast. You know, I joked about this yesterday, but I'm like thinking maybe all this energy that I have has to do with me being a thicker dude, and so me being in ketosis, you know, there's just so much fat to be used up as energy, you know. I looked in the mirror also. Well, obviously, if I'm looking at my stretch marks, I have to look at my body, and I noticed for the first time that I have lost a great amount of weight. I wish I had a scale so that I could, like, you know, really take note of the pounds lost. But I'm also glad. I don't want to be caught up in numbers. You know, I just want to see a difference. I want to see a difference and feel good about that difference. I see a thinner body for sure, and I see, you know, a flatter stomach, you know, and I'll be honest right now, you know, part of the reason that I did not want to, I'm not really interested in doing, you know, the shirtless, you know, like before and after photos is because, you know, like most bigger dudes, you know, I got what I feel like are man boobs. And I'm not proud of that. But what I did notice is that even my chest has gone down tremendously, you know? And so, yeah, I am just super excited about that. Another change I noticed, and I don't think it's something you can necessarily see via, you know, the camera, but I remember there was a YouTuber, I think his name is I Feel Truth. I actually tried to be prepared this time around because I feel like in every video I talk about a YouTuber said this or said that, and I say I'm gonna look it up and mention it later on, and I never do, because truth is I'm trying to just get through the day and, you know, take care of things that I need to take care of, because, you know, at the end of the day, even though I shoot these videos, and I'm happy to do so because I want you to also have, you know, something to look at as I've had, you know, journeys to look at on YouTube, I have stuff to do, you know, so yeah. Where is this thing at? So his name, so on YouTube, yes, his name is I Feel Truth. I believe his actual name is Timothy. I think he has like 2 YouTube pages, to be honest. But he's someone who did a 35-day fast. And he had mentioned something that I thought was interesting, and I was like, that seems a bit much. But I'm finding that it might actually be true. My eyes have actually lightened quite a bit. And I kind of noticed it about 2 days ago, and I was like, that's mind over matter. It's just, you know, where I'm looking in the mirror in my bathroom, and, you know, the outside light is just beaming in. But today, it was such a huge difference, and I was like, wow, it's incredible, you know, what the body can do when it has a chance to rectify the damage that we've done with all these, you know, fast foods and what have you. I'm trying to think, are there any other physical aspects that I want to speak on? I don't think so. Oh, yes. So I'm learning, so here are some things that I'm learning in respect to fasting. For one thing, I can't just jump up out of bed like I used to do, you know, when I wake up. You know, I have to actually ease myself out of bed. I've got to slowly I just have to take my time, basically. If I jump up, you know, although I don't feel exhausted, I don't feel tired, or I don't feel hungry, and I don't feel, you know, disoriented or anything, if I do jump up for a moment, I do have that moment of like, oh, you know, I gotta regain my my balance, so to speak. It's like you just get kind of lightheaded for a moment. And so I finally learned to not just jump up when I'm laying down or sitting or whatever, you know. I also realized, and this should have been common sense, but I've also realized that I can't take the piping hot showers that I enjoy. Not at all. I had an experience, excuse me, I had an experience yesterday actually. I meant to speak about this in yesterday's video, but I'm glad I didn't because, you know, as you know, by now I hope, I basically shoot today what happened yesterday, if that makes sense. So I was in the shower, and for one thing, I'm glad that I did excuse me, I'm glad that I didn't like decide to, I'm going to speak about that what just happened just now too. Trust me, I got you. So I, like, even just showering, not showering, shampooing. I know I'm bald, I know, but I've always had dry scalp, and so I use Head and Shoulders. So I still, you know, shampoo my scalp a bit, and I've got a little bit of hair on the back of my head. It's my own personal style, don't judge me. But I shampoo. I found that just simply doing that was a task. You know, having my hands up in, you know, in the air like that for that long was a task. And it kind of caught me off guard, you know. And so that, in conjunction with being in this steaming hot shower, was really starting to get to me at one point. And I suspected that something like that would happen. You know, in my mind, it's like I just kind of heard something telling me, like, you don't need a shower that hot. And I was like, oh, okay. And of course, me being me, I'm thinking like, well, let me beat the system. You know, I'll just turn on the shower to get, you know, my rag wet and soapy and whatever, and turn it off, and I'll just, you know, soap my body up so that I am clean, and I'll turn back on the water to rinse the soap off and all that good stuff. And that still didn't exactly work in my favor, because I still, you know, needed to wash my face and wash the shampoo out of my head. And so all this hot water is just all hitting me here and all that stuff. And I just sort of suddenly in the shower felt myself just sort of going through that moment of like feeling as if, you know, I jumped up out of the bed, and I just started feeling lightheaded. And I had to sort of like just calm myself and, you know, just kind of, but I still had, you know, soap and shampoo and all that stuff to wash off. So I had to like kind of be strategic in doing this, but it got to a point where like I had to like just rush and turn off the water and just step out of the shower. Usually most people, I think, you know, dry off a little bit at least before they step out the shower, because who wants a soggy rug? But yesterday I had to just open that curtain and just step out, and even like open the bathroom door so that the, you know, cooler air can get in. And it was bad. Like I didn't even dry off. I just walked into my bedroom. Thank goodness I actually left my heater off, and actually it wasn't off. I had to turn it off when I got in here. But I just sat down on the bed, and I had to just lay back and just let myself breathe and capture myself all over again, you know? And so, yeah, I'm definitely learning that even though I feel great and feel energized and feel, you know, fantastic and all that good stuff, my body is still, I'm still fasting. My body is still doing what it needs to do. It's repairing. So it's like I feel good because my body is in repair mode, but my body is still functioning essentially. So yeah, I learned that. I think I will end this here. There is something else I was going to speak on, but that has nothing to do really with, you know, the physical attributes of water fasting. I'll save that for tomorrow. No, I wanted to add something else. Pooping. So there was one day where I actually didn't poop at all. And I was gonna say like, oh my gosh, like my body must have really like just went into, you know, overload, you know, no pun intended. But like I felt like I just wasn't flushing anything out. And then I think I was like planning to like talk about that the next day, and that evening like I went to the bathroom and I saw, it's just so interesting. I know this might be TMI, but it's a part of the journey, and I want you to have all the info necessary. So, you know, I looked in the toilet afterwards, and, you know, obviously it's a lot of dark brown, you know, it looked more like diarrhea, but then at the same time there were what I felt were like just 2 or 3 pellets that just flushed out with the water. Sorry, y'all. It turned out to really be at least, you know, a good 8 to 12, you know, nuggets, so to speak. And they were so dark, like so dark brown, if not black, and the stench was just horrible, you know. And I'm just like, really, all of it? And I know, like, I've read that, you know, when the crab is like darker, that's like old stuff that hasn't been removed, and I do feel it move from like up here. And so I'm just like, yo, this is insane, you know. And so I also want to should I save that for tomorrow? Yeah, I'll save that for tomorrow because it happened today. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I don't feel like there's anything else I need to mention. Again, if there's anything you're curious about with the journey, please go ahead and, you know, make a comment. I will gladly answer questions. Yeah, that's it. Day 6. Day 6? Yeah, day 6. Today's the 7th. I guess that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I've actually attained some new followers while being on this journey, and, you know, welcome. Thank you so much for following me. Thank you so much for feeling my journey is worth keeping up with. And finally, yeah, that's it. I can't wait to see what happens today so that I can talk about it tomorrow. And with that being said, God bless. Have a great day.